Good morning, Grand Rising to everybody. Um, I'm in the word. Anytime you lose your way, if when you're on this journey or you getting started on this journey, go back to the beginning because the beginning lays the foundation, right? So I'm in Bere'Shiyth, Genesis, chapter 3, and I'm only gonna go from verse 1 to verse 19. And I'm really just doing this right now because it's on my heart and I don't want to forget about it later because I'm caught up doing other things. So I want to get this out. I don't expect nobody to be awake at this time. Now, chapter 3 taught us a lot if we really go back and look at it and kind of dissect it. I'm learning to really take my time when I read the word so that I get a full understanding instead of just kind of running through it or skimming through it. So chapter 3 starts with the serpent coming up to the woman, Adam's woman, and tempting her with this fruit from this tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And in verse 1, the word says that the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field that Abiyahu would have made. And he approached the woman, he came to the woman and said, "Has Elohim said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?" Now I had a couple of questions when I was reading this. I'm like, why he go to her? Was it because she was the weaker of the two? Was it because Yahweh first commanded the man? Why did the serpent go to the woman? Why did he not go to the man and then deceive the man and have the man go back and influence the woman? Why is it that he used the woman to then go back and influence her man? That was a question I had. Nonetheless, as I'm going into it, and I took the time to think. Now, when he walked up on her, just imagine now, they in the garden, and I'm assuming now that he walked up on her because the word cursed him later on in the chapter to be on his belly, which tells me in my thoughts that he wasn't on his belly at her feet at first. He was probably eye to eye with her, walking about just like she was walking about. So he strolls up on her in this garden. And he didn't just say, hey, you want to check out some of this fruit up on this tree? Want to test it out? Want to see how it is? No, he didn't do that. What did he do? He asked her. He said, "Has Elohim, have Yahweh, has your father, your parents, the authority over you, has he said to you that you shall not eat of every tree of the garden?" Is that what he told you? So in her mind, in her little feeble mind, she like, well, you know, he he said that we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which in the midst of the garden, Elohim said, you shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die unalive. The serpent said, ooh, he's the same. He's the same. This really showed me how he is the same. He has not changed. He's still the same. So the serpent said to her, you shall not surely die. You're not going to die. For Elohim knows that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as Elohim, knowing good and evil. couple of things happen in this response that the serpent, Satan, gave this woman. What happened first is that, one, he perverted the truth, okay? The truth was that they didn't fall down and die. It ain't like she ate the apple and then it was like, and she ceased to exist. But what did die was the way that Elohim had originally intended for things to be. That did die. She did not physically die. But the way that the Father wanted for things to be then had to be changed because of the disobedience that happened when she listened to this serpent. So he perverted the truth, which is something that he often does when he gets up in our minds and he tells us, things like, oh, it's okay for you to know that. It's okay for you to celebrate that. It's okay for you to eat that. Girl, you're not going to hell. Boy, you're not going to suffer and perish because of that. Father ain't going to do nothing to you. They just don't want you to be woke. They want your knowledge to be limited. They don't want you to know the things that you need to know so that you could be elevated to your next level. That's how the devil talked. That's how he talked to her in that garden. And so what he did, the second part of what he did, was that he lessened her fear of the Most High Yah. In him doing that, he cost her more than what she realized. He cost her. See, he never tells you the consequences. He don't lay out the consequences. He just lay out what seems like the benefits. So the word says that after he said that to her, she looked, and when she saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise. Did it now. A tree to be desired to make one wise. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and also gave unto her man with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. Hold up. Because it says that when she saw the tree, that it was desired to make one wise. At least this is how it appeared to her. That, oh, okay, so the serpent done told me, if I eat of these, if I do these, I'm going to gain this knowledge, and this knowledge is going to give me wisdom. Brothers and sisters, that's not how it works, okay? It don't work like that. Wisdom begins with the fear of Abba Yahuwah. If you don't fear Abba Yahuwah, I don't care how much knowledge you got, you ain't got no wisdom. Because wisdom comes from fearing the Most High. My skin will try to ignore that. Wisdom comes from fearing the Most High. If you don't have no fear of the Most High, you ain't got no wisdom. So when they ate this fruit and their eyes got opened up, right? Did they gain some knowledge? Yes. Yes, they did. They did gain some knowledge. And technically what the serpent said was true. They didn't fall down and croak over, right? But also, in verse 22, it says, if we skip down to verse 22, it says that, and Yahuwah Elohim said, behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand to take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever, which is why he guarded the tree of life the way that he did, so that man couldn't get to it. So, when the serpent told Eve, oh, he just don't want you to have that knowledge. Because if you get that knowledge, you're going to be like him. knowing of good and evil. That was true. In a sense. But he perverted it because he did not give her any depth to it. He just tempted her with the temptation of, oh, he just don't want you to have that because it's going to make you better. But did it make her better? Did it make her and Adam better? Or did it just open them up to things that Abba Yahuwah never intended for them to have to deal with in the first place? The knowledge that they gained, did it really help them? And it sure didn't get them no wisdom. In reality, when she ate from that fruit, she gained that knowledge in exchange for loss of wisdom. Because what the serpent did was cause her to lose some of the fear that she had for the Most High. When she lost some of that fear that she had for the Most High, she lost some wisdom. Because wisdom begins with the fear of Abba Yahuwah. So, as it goes on and the story unfolds more, they now know that they naked. So they sew some little figs on them to try to cover themselves up. And then Abba Yahuwah is walking in the garden. And the man and his woman, they hide themselves from the presence of Yahuwah amongst the trees of the garden. And Yahuwah is calling to Adam and he's saying, where you at, son? You hiding? Where are you? And Adam comes out and he says, oh, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked. And I hid myself. That's like saying, I was naked, I was exposed, and I didn't want you to see me. So I hid myself. Now, in all that knowledge that they gained, they didn't gain no wisdom. And then the word not only says to gain the wisdom, but in all you're gaining to get understanding as well. So not only did they not have no wisdom, but they didn't have no understanding because Adam did not understand, boy, you been naked. So Yahuwah is like, you say you naked. Well, who told you that? Because you been naked. He didn't tell him that. But he like, who told you that? Because Abba Yahuwah, knowing all already, boy, you been naked. So now you know you naked. Oh, so you been eating from that tree I told you not to eat of. You've been doing stuff I told you not to do. And it's funny to me, it's ironic to me that the same way that the enemy works, we kind of work the same way that we've always worked as well. Because a lot of us, when we sin and we do wrong, we like to hide from Abba Yahuwah. Those of us that are in the walk. Because people that aren't in the walk the conscience is pretty much seared to where when they out here doing what they doing, they don't have no conscience about it. But people that are actually trying to walk right, people who have that calling from Abba Yahuwah on their life, when you do wrong, you know you done did wrong and you feel bad about it. You feel ashamed. And coming into the presence of Abba Yahuwah makes you feel exposed because you know that he knows the truth. And we act like that even amongst each other. If a person don't want to face the truth about themselves and things that they have done, and somebody holds the truth to the situation, they will go out of their way to try to destroy or discredit the person that knows the truth. Because they don't want to face the truth. Because the truth exposes the wrongdoing. Adam and his woman was really hiding from Abba Yahuwah, not because they were naked, but because they were exposed. They knew that they had been doing something they didn't have no business, and they knew that he was going to know that they had been doing something that they didn't have no business. So he tried to hide himself. But little did he know, as soon as he opened his mouth, he exposed himself anyway. Because now you're talking about you naked. How do you know you're naked? When you been naked. So what you been doing? Busted. So it's like we as Abiyahu's children, we're going to mess up from time to time. But it's important to just go and bring it to him instead of trying to hide. Because this made me think about parents, right? And say you done did something like my baby. My baby, for instance, he'll be in the living room doing something, watching something on TV that I don't want him watching, flipping off of stuff he ain't got no business. And I can hear him. I don't even gotta see him. I hear him. I say, Solomon, what you doing? Oh, nothing. Solomon, what you doing? Nothing, Mama. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just, just watching TV, whatever. Are you doing something I asked you not to do? You doing something I told you don't do? No. Okay. What this can do for a parent is tee a parent off, right? 'Cause I know you're lying is the thing. When it comes down to it, the father already knows what you done did. So it's like, you don't need to lie or try to hide. That might make it worse. Now, see, when you young and you a babe, your parent might let you get away with it a little bit. Might just, don't do that. I know you're lying. You better stop that. Stuff like that, because you're little. It's cute, right? The older you get, the bigger you get, the more it's been told to you. And you continue to do the same thing and respond the same way. You think that parent gonna continue to have that same, oh, don't do that. I know you lying. Don't do that. No, it's gonna get a little tougher. They're gonna get a little stricter. Because you steady playing with me. And what makes you think I'm gonna be played with? What makes you think I don't already know? Well, I wouldn't be asking you if I ain't already know what you was doing. So you gonna tell the truth so we can get through it? Or you gonna keep lying and dancing in circles and trying to hide from me what I already know? As a parent, could you imagine how irritating that could kind of be? If you know what your child has done and they lying in your face like you don't know, trying to hide it from you. So just imagine how Abba Yahuwah feels when we do things that we know that we shouldn't have done, and then instead of coming to him and repenting and turning away from that thing that we've been doing and asking him, praying for strength, for the desire to be decreased. If it's something that you feel like you're struggling with, because you're going to struggle with things, certain things that are strongholds on us, that we literally have to pray, we have to fast, we have to seek deliverance to get that stuff off of us. So you better off just praying for it and asking, like, Father, help me. I'm struggling in this area. I need deliverance, rather than to try to hide it from him, because that might tee him off. I'm just speculating. Now, if it was my child, it might tee me off. Just saying. So he tries to hide from him, and when Abiyahu calls for him, he responds, well, I heard your voice in the garden. I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself. So then Abiyahu says to him, who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree whereof I commanded you that you should not eat? And then Adam say, well, the woman that you gave me, yeah, she had gave me some fruit of the tree. And I did eat it. But that woman you gave me, she the one that brought it to me. Which in his defense was very true. This kind of opened my eyes up, because I spoke with men quite a bit that don't have the best feelings towards their wives and their women. And it's always like, if it hadn't been for that woman, if it hadn't been for, if she had a, it's always that. And I realized that comes from the beginning. Because truth be told now, if it hadn't been for her listening to that serpent, falling into that temptation, and then bringing that back to her man, they both wouldn't have been in that garden right then, right there, getting in trouble with our Yahweh. This is true. It's straight up facts. Like, that again made me go back and wonder, why did the serpent approach the woman? Is it because he knew she was gonna fold? Like, did he know that the woman was gonna fold? So it's like, as a woman, as women, we gotta work on not being the downfall of the man. We don't want to cause him to stumble spiritually, mentally, physically. We don't want to be the reason that this man is stumbling. We don't want to be the reason that this man is having trouble with the Most High, because instead of listening to the Most High and being obedient to him, he's listening to us. And we're luring him away from the Most High. No. That's not what we're supposed to do. So she did err. Don't get me wrong. She definitely erred. But when he responded, it kind of shed light to me. I was having a hard time for a long time understanding how a man can be with a woman and want to be with the woman, but at the same time he can't stand the woman, and he feel like the woman is the root of all his problems, but yet he with the woman. I don't get it. This kind of showed me like, oh, because you made this woman for me. You said I was supposed to have her. You made her for me, to be my helpmeet, to be here with me. But then she done got me in trouble. Like, dang. Like, I did do it. But she, you know, as a woman, we have to take responsibility, especially when it's us that's done, you know. Because she ate that fruit. And she took that fruit back to him. It ain't no way around it. That in itself caused tension. Now, did he have free will? Yeah. Could he have told her, girl, I'm not eating that. You weren't supposed to eat that. I'm not eating that. You ain't finna get me in. Yeah, he could have. But he didn't. For whatever reason. Women have been the downfall of a lot of men. And I stand here as a woman and say that. Not always. But a lot of times, men done came crashing down, fooling with some women. You know, it's just what that is. So, Yahweh then says unto the woman, verse 13, he says, what is this that you have done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. So I looked up what beguiled means, and it's to charm. Sometimes deceptively, which goes back to show you that the enemy don't always try to fear you into submission. Most of the time, he wants to tempt you into submission. So he's going to come looking good. Girl, you're going to be wise. Girl, you're going to gain some knowledge. Girl, you're going to be woke. You're going to be elevated. You're going to meet your higher self. Girl, you're going to be able to do things that most people can't do. Girl, you're so special. You're so special, and don't nobody want you to know how special you are. But I bet if you do this, you'll know. I bet if you do this, you'll turn up on them. I bet if you do this. Like, he's always cunning. He always comes in charming, looking like something good. That's why you have to use discernment. You don't have no discernment. You don't know. Like, no, I don't think, you know, everything that glitter ain't gold, boo. I don't think I want none of that. You don't know how to do that. Because you just enticed. Ooh, that man looks so good. Ooh, that money sounds so easy to make. Ooh, it looks so fun. He comes in the form of lust, of whatever it is that you like. And if he can't get you that way, then he'll try to intimidate you, scare you, things of that nature. But he loves to entice in a way that makes you want to give in to him. He wants you to give in to him. He don't really want to have to try to. He don't want to have to do that. He don't want to have to try to beat you into it, choke you into it. No. He wants you to come to him. He wants you to give it up. Yeah, she gonna give it up. He gonna give it up. Come on, come on. I got something for you. I got what you want. I got what you need. Come on. That's how he works. So she said he beguiled me. And I did eat. I did eat of the tree. And so, Yahuwah said, and he cursed all three. He started with the serpent. He said unto the serpent, because you have done this, you are cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon your belly you shall go, and dust you shall eat all the days of your life. Now, we don't know what the serpent looked like before then, but after being cursed, it sounds a lot like the visual of what we have of a snake that goes about on its belly, and it's at the feet of man. So that to me says that whatever that serpent was, it became like what we recognize today as a snake. And then Abba Yahuwah says in verse 15 that he's going to put enmity, which is like strife, tension, beef. It'll forever be between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. It shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Now that to me spoke literally and figuratively, because the snake is at our feet, and a lot of us are scared of snakes. But for those of us that are not, you'll take something. You ever seen somebody take something and whack the head off a snake? But if they're too slow, you ever seen a snake whoosh, at somebody's feet real quick? So that battle between us is physical, but it's also figurative in the sense of Satan being at the feet, underneath the feet of the believer, of the child of the Most High. He's at your feet, but he's going to continue to nip at your heels. He on your, Father forgive me, but he on your tail, okay? With the temptation, with the deception. He's on your tail. He at your feet, trying to make you stumble. He nipping at your ankles, trying to get you down to his level, because he's forced to be underneath you. Safe to say he don't like that. Safe to say that tees him off. Safe to say Satan got attitude, because he know where he belongs. Because he know where he was cursed to. Underneath mankind. Now they all did wrong in the situation. Yet Satan, who used that serpent, was cursed to be underneath mankind still. And he still is, because in Yahusha Shem, baby, every demon in hell, including Satan himself, must obey Yahusha. Period. There is no. So if you command something in Yahusha Shem to get behind you, to get underneath your feet, to get off your child, to get out your household, they gotta go. Yahusha Shem, he knows this. So his main goal is to keep you from knowing it. His main goal is to keep you from exercising the rights and the power and the authority that you have through the Messiah that was given unto you. That's his goal. Let's go back. So after he curses the serpent, he then curses the woman. And he says unto the woman, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. In sorrow you shall bring forth children, and your desire shall be to your man, and he shall rule over you. Now we know that we give birth in pain. I don't care if you the strongest woman out there and you be popping out babies with no epidural. It still hurt. when that womb get to contracting and it's time for that baby to come forth, it hurts. Pain like you ain't never felt. Pushing a human out of your body hurts. If you gotta get cut open and get a C-section, you might not feel it when they cutting through you, but when you wake up, you gonna feel some pain. Bringing forth children hurts, period. It's a result of what we did. Also, us always desiring after our man, chasing, in a sense, after our man. We be wanting the man to chase us, but really we be chasing him because we be trying to make him. That comes from that curse. And your man gonna rule over you. You gonna always be his little beck and call. He gonna always be able to tell you what to do. That's a part of that curse. Because you went and you influenced him in a way that you should not have. So now he gonna have rule and dominion over you. And you're always going to yearn after him. That's why these women be ready to do crazy things behind a man. They curse. So he cursed the serpent, he cursed the woman, and then he cursed the man. And he said unto Adam, because you have hearkened unto the voice of your woman, and you done eaten of the tree which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of that tree. The ground is cursed for your sake. In sorrow you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to you, and you shall eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of your face shall you eat bread, till you return unto the ground. For out of it you were taken, for dust you are, and unto dust you shall return. That's verse 19. And that's where I'm going to stop this. When he cursed Adam, he cursed the ground because Adam was to work the ground. He created him to till the ground, to deal with the animals, to have rule and dominion over the land. That's what he made Adam for. So now the ground is cursed. It's going to bring forth thorns and thistles. So that means it's going to get a little harder for you to till this ground. This is why men have to work so hard. This is why from the sweat of their brow, from the sweat of their forehead, they constantly just working. Got me working day and night. Working. Whether you got a woman or not. And then if you got a woman, you extra working because now you got to take care of this woman. So men have to work as hard as they do, as much as they do, the way that they do. Because of this curse. Because he listened to a woman. His woman, more than he listened to his creator, his Elohim. And so, what this said to me was that one, as a woman, to not be the stumbling block of a man. Don't be the reason that a man comes to his downfall. Because you done been influenced to do wrong. And now you're influencing that man to do wrong. And now the Bible didn't say at that time that they were intimate. But in my mind, I'm thinking they may have been intimate before then because their connection had probably already been made. So that brings me to say, too, stop sleeping with people that ain't none of your wife and your husband. Just stop doing it. Because a woman can influence a man through sex. And a man can control a woman through sex. It's very easy to do once you get to doing the do. So, as women, we have to work to not be stumbling blocks. We have to work to push our men closer to the Most High and not pull them further away from Him. We have to work to cause them to be something that helps to cause them to want to be obedient to the Most High. It's got to be in them already. Now, we ain't nobody saving grace. We can't do what the Messiah has done. They have to already have that in them. But we want to help when it comes to pushing them towards being obedient to the Most High, being obedient to Mashiach. We want to help them with that. We want to push them towards that, not pull them away by using our bodies, okay, and our influence. You know how what they say about women and what's between women's legs and how it has power and control over a man. We don't want to use that to be a man's stumbling block. How you gonna cause a man to stumble and then say you want a husband? Oh, but I just want me a husband so that I deserve. But you making this man slip and slide all the way to his doom. No. Men, y'all are natural born leaders. Y'all were here first. Okay? He made y'all first. That connection with him, y'all had first with the Most High. Y'all had that first. Y'all rule over y'all's women. So it's up to a man to be the leader of his household, of his relationship. And that means not letting that woman bring you to your doom. Now, a good woman, in my opinion, is going to help you want to obey the Most High, want to stay in line with what he wants you to do, with his favor, with his will for your life. A good woman. That's a good helpmeet. That's what he made a woman for. So don't beat up on a good woman while you exercising your authority over that woman. I'll just say that. Because sometimes men can be rough, I'll say, on women. Sometimes it be because they done dealt with so many women that was influencing them in the wrong way. But that's also why you have to have discernment, so that you know how to treat who you dealing with accordingly. How to let go of who you shouldn't be dealing with, and how to hold on to who you should. Y'all like the leaders. Y'all run y'all's households. Don't let these women run you. And don't let these women run you to your doom. She's to help you, not run you, not rule you. You actually to rule over her. And the Most High is to rule over you. That's the way that that's supposed to work. The Most High is at the top, and that man is underneath the Most High, and that woman is underneath that man, and those children. You understand? The Most High, the man, the woman, the children. It's not supposed to be the Most High, the woman, the children, the man. It's not supposed to be the Most High, the woman, the man, the children. It's supposed to be the Most High, the man, the woman, the children. We kind of messed up the order, the way that things were supposed to flow when that serpent approached that woman, and then that woman went back and influenced that man and led that man into the very deception and temptation that she fell into. Kind of messed it up. I will say, at this day, in this age, whether you a man or whether you a woman, don't let nobody influence you or cause you to sin against the Most High, and you know better. Just, because it's not worth it. And we have an Elohim that is jealous. So, he gonna bring some pain to you. Because, oh, you gonna pick them over me? You gonna pick them over me? That's like still worshiping the creation instead of the creator, because he made that person. And now you holding this person at all reverence. And you at this person's beck and call. And you following this person's everything that they say. But you're not listening to your creator. You're not listening to their creator. You're listening to them. And they not listening to their creator. Gonna cause you problems. Man or woman. That's why it's important, if you are within the body, to wait for that person that he has for you that is in the body. You want to make sure that you are equally yoked in that relationship. Because if not, y'all going to constantly pull and tug at each other in the wrong direction. They was one going to be trying to pull one. Come on, we going with the Most High. And the other one going to be like, nope, I don't want to go. You come over here. Why you tripping? Stuff like that. Nobody got time for that. Y'all need to be able to pray together, strengthen each other in prayer, uplift each other in prayer, strengthen each other's relationship with the Most High through the Messiah so that y'all can be in the best standing as possible when everything goes down, because stuff is about to go down. We don't got time. We don't have time to be out here being deceived by something that's underneath our feet. When you really realize that the devil is underneath your feet, that his power is limited. Like, yeah, he got some power, but it's limited. It's been limited. And the way he moves is the way that he always moves. So anytime something comes to you looking too good to be true, trying to tell you what all it's going to do for you, but it didn't come from the Creator. It didn't come from the Most High. It didn't come from his Son. You don't want it. We don't want it. Good. Like, no, I don't want that. Because it's of the enemy. And anything of the enemy, it's not going to bless you. It's going to test you. It ain't going to bless you. But it is a blessing in every lesson if you learn it. So, I just wanted to share that. If ever you lose your way, go back to the beginning. The beginning lays the foundation for everything. I pray that everybody be blessed. For those that observe the Sabbath, Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to go get back in my word. Everybody have a Baruch blessed day. And much shalom. Much love to everybody.